But yeah, welcome to the Vondelbunker. How you doing? Yeah, my name is Socrates. I feel a little spooky up here like this. Yeah, I am an American. Yeah, thanks, appreciate it. I keep hoping one of these days it'll be different. So, of course, one of these days I hope America will be different. But yeah. So welcome to the show. This is a wonderful little space. I don't know if you know about crack and anti-crack, but this used to be a crack house. Now it's still a crack house, but now it's anti-crack. I mean, the squat, this used to be basically a space that was taken over by the people who loved it more than the government, and they kind of made it theirs. And so they kind of argued with Jamaica, the government for a long time until they finally agreed that they could still stay here because there's trolleys. And they turned it into anti-crack, so they kind of maintained the space, etc. So I think it's one of the coolest little spots you'll ever find in Amsterdam. And give it up for the Vondelbunker itself. Woo! So we're celebrating today is 9/11, and so you know that 6 months ago, today I broke my arm. Yeah, it's a special anniversary for me. If you don't know, I was forced to learn a Dutch word, like I said, 6 months ago today, March 11th. I was forced to learn the word aangereden, which means, unfortunately, to be slammed into. And I was on my bike, and a guy on a scooter taught me the phrase, the sentence, "Ik ben aangereden door een scooterklootzak." Which means I got slammed into by an asshole on a scooter. And it's been 5 months, and that seems like a long time to me, too. It's not really working that well, so I still use this on stage because it kind of keeps it quiet, and I can keep it from moving around, and hopefully, next week or so, I might actually have surgery finally. Woo! Woo! I have this really boss scar right here soon. And you'll know, as people have asked me, is this a gimmick? And it's like, well, yeah, you go so far as to actually have the scar installed, Yeah. Because you got to really believe in the bit, So, who's never been to a comedy show before? Woo! Who's been to a show here at the Vondelbunker before?
Only me?
So, none of you have been to a Vondelbunker show. But you've all been to a comedy show. Cool. Now I know why. I summoned you here tonight. Did you all find it through Facebook, or would you find it through? Yep. All Facebook? Anybody non-Facebook finders? Muhammad? You mean him, or? How'd you find the place? Inshallah. If you guys don't know what Inshallah means, it's a wonderful place about Amsterdam. We have all cultures, all countries. I think probably almost every country in the world is here. Some of them just deliver the post, but they're still here. But Inshallah is an Arabic word that I kind of like because it basically means if God wills it. And depending on where you are in your life, it's an optimistic word or not. As a kid, you think, Inshallah, yeah, God wills it, everything's possible, woo! Then you become an old man with a broken arm 5 months after getting smashed. And you realize, yeah, my arm could be healed. Inshallah. Because it's true, if God came down from heaven to wave his little army around, woo! I'd be all like, pointing up there. But I can't. Yeah, it's annoying because I still have to do this to like exercise to keep it, because they don't want it to lock up, because God forbid this didn't work this well, So I have to do this at my house a lot. I was getting a really weird vibe from my neighbors. Turns out they thought I was a Nazi. I explained to what's going on, and they said, oh, now they think I'm just practicing to be a Nazi. So, okay, you guys all know about stand-up comedy. That's a good thing. Now you all know about the Vondelbunker, and it's an amazing thing that you all found it here today. I think that's so damn cool. And how many people are Dutch? Not a single one? Really? Not one? Oh, an embarrassed man.
It is comedy.
You don't own it, though, do you, Where's your family from? Are you Sudanese or are you from? I can't tell. I can't see shit. Oh, you're Iranian. Okay, you're an Iranian Netherlander.
Yeah.
But you're born here, though? Ah, see, yeah. It's Sorry. Which way do you lean when you say, where are you from? You say Netherlands or Iran? You say Netherlands, so, yeah, but you don't want to admit it. I get it. I'm American. And people will laugh at that. So, it's like saying you're British. Well, I laugh. Well, not today. Okay, yes. Anyway, woohoo! That's why the rent is so damn high. But, so basically, like I said, we're going to do a comedy thing here. People are going to come up here. They're going to say various things. Some of it's going to be funny. Some of it's supposed to have been funny. I hoped it would have been funny. Thought, this is going to be funny. And it wasn't. But that's what happens. That's what happens. You got to try it out. It's cool. You know what I mean? It takes a certain degree of a thing. It's like music. You know, people know your song. You get up there, sing it with you, etc. You know, they don't like it when they don't know the song nearly as much. But you know, stand-up comedy, standing alone, a group of people who don't know you, and a microphone, and a strap. And you have to try to make something out of it. You know what I mean? And that's what's kind of cool about the whole experience. You know what I mean? It's like my favorite Dutch word. I think we all know the best word for, again, none of you are Dutch though. Did anybody speak Dutch? Yes. Woo! And of course, you. Of course. So this is for you. Welcome to the Netherlands. Well, you know. How long you lived here now, or how old are you? Either way you want to phrase it? 22. 22. Ooh, 2000. Yeah. I was born before that. I think I probably win this battle here tonight. Anybody want to try me out here? Greg can't even beat me on this one. 1966, woo! Dead silence, thank you. You've never heard of it because we didn't have the internet back then. There's no film of it, you know. I was crazy and stupid. Nobody knew. Some people saw it, but they don't really remember it, you know what I mean? But the greatest Dutch word, though, and I think you can back me up on this, it's not, I know what you're thinking, it's not swaffelen, which is a great Dutch word, if you don't know. It's a word they needed. I think the cool things about word, they need this word. That's where you come up with them. Like in America, we needed the word asshole. But the Dutch needed the word swaffelen, which means to slap, it means to slap your dick against something. It's the Dutch. I didn't come up with it. I think women can do it. It's just a lot harder. More aim involved. Yeah, it was not only just a Dutch word, it was the word of the year, 2008. Literally. Yeah, some guys, they were in India, and one of them swaffled the Taj Mahal, and the other guy videotaped it, and there was not a lot of videos back in 2008, and this went viral. Or at least Dutch viral, so you know. 100,000 people saw it. They thought this is the coolest word of all time. And I moved here in March of that year, and they were still talking about it. No, the great word, though, is gezellig. And if you don't know, that means it's a wonderful, warm evening, and it's something that the Dutch is a great word. They needed that word, too. You need swaffelen, and a night of swaffelen, pretty gezellig. It means it's a wonderful evening, but it's something we do as a group. You know what I mean? You can't really, you know, swaffle by yourself and call it gezellig, you know? You need the guy with the camera, and that makes it gezellig. And that's what I like about a place like this and a night like this, because this is as gezellig a place as it could possibly get, especially with a night and a crowd like you guys. So give yourselves a quick round of applause. Because we're going to have a bunch of fun and listen to a bunch of stuff. So you guys ready for an evening? Woo, glad to hear that. Give me some love and energy because we got our first comedian of the night. You ready for this? Yeah. Give it up for Mohammed!
You've been great.
Thank you for coming in from Mohammed. Pro tip, that's why I always use strawberry flavored lube. Exactly, see, you never know. Hey, it's supposed to be helpful. On that note, talking about the council. So, anybody in the sex trade out here? Just amateurs? I get it. I've dabbled. I try. It's hard to get, it's a hard thing to sell. Who's, anybody not working in IT? Because everybody's working. How many quick hand out IT people? Really, just everybody's on. I see that. Like I said, anybody doing interesting IT work?
Yes.
Paychecks. Nothing like a paycheck. Yeah. You can't even try to brag about it. It's like, I work for the space something. At least that's kind of, cool. What do you do? I'm an accountant. Good for you. I do stand-up in a bunker. They get paid. I'm not going to say more. I'm just going to leave it with they get paid. But again, this is a donation show, by the way, so I'll have a little ticket if you feel like your, IT job is so overpaid and you want to help out those of us who dwell under bridges. Because we could use the help. So is anybody doing, who's a non-IT person? Because the IT people don't want to brag about being IT people. Anybody? Anybody? What's your interesting job? Very shy person who knows a Dutch person? Yoga teacher. Very good, very good. That's you. You bring energy to the class, don't you? Yeah. I find that's important. You know what I mean? You want to belt it out. Downward dog. Downward dog. See, that helps. I'm just saying. I like being up front with people. This is one of the things that gets me through my days. It got me through a bunch of this fun times. And personally, you guys as an audience, I really appreciate you guys coming out here. I really do. Like I said, I love having this whole thing. To me, it's one of the fun things about organizing this. I get to meet great people. I actually know this place through the Love Foundation, which is a great organization. Its foundation is love. And they do work in South Africa. They bring water to people who don't have it. And that's how I met the Vondelbunker. So it's a great thing with networking as well. So it's like if you have like a boring job, you can go out to a comedy show. We appreciate all the people from IT. It's a great thing. And the comedians who do IT, they always mention it. But because it's funny. I used to do it. I have a computer science degree. I'm not making fun of somebody who I'm not. I knew BASIC. Hell, I knew COBOL, Pascal. I did all that garbage. Things that you talk about. Your grandfather, IT, grandpeople. Oh yeah, I heard of that shit. Yeah, I did it all. I did machine code for God's sake. 1966. Another world. I was born before code. But anyway, so I feel the energy really ripping in the room right now. I feel that's a reflection of me. Woo! Thank you. Yeah. And if you're wondering what's the big lesson of this? Morphine, great drug. So you ready for another comedian? Give me love and energy for one more comedian. Gotta go, give me energy love. Give it up for the next comedian. Let's shut up! Come there, watch out! Yeah, this thing's very tight and loose at the same time. Yeah, I hear the roar of the crowd. I love it. Oh, is it trans? Okay. You would think this would be tighter somehow. Of course, you would think this would be easier. Woo! How you doing? Yeah. Woo. All right, appreciate that. Like that energy. Love it a lot. Yeah. Reminds me of lockdown. Yeah. I did this at home. Yeah. It was a quiet crowd. But receptive. Yeah. It wasn't Kazelic because I only had the one mirror. You need the two mirrors to really make it Kazelic. Anybody learn anything interesting during the lockdown?
No.
Yeah, like that. Creative people. Self-betterment's really, what'd y'all do, just hang?
Yes.
Just went with the chill, no Netflix at all? I got you. You're here to listen. Dance, monkey, dance. I understand. We all have our places in life, and I'm happy for this to be mine. I'm cool with it. So, should we keep moving or should I keep doing this? A little bit of both. It's the silence that you have to learn to embrace. You see what I mean? This is why improv helps with comedy. Comedy doesn't really help with improv. Yeah. That's called useless comedy knowledge for a bunch of people who didn't care. Really weren't that interested in it. But you're stuck there, and we're all stuck here. We're all dealing with this moment, you know what I mean? Hey, none of you got a broken arm. Anybody else ever have the blue strap? Any blue strap people here? None of you all lucky bastards? Well, if you get hurt in the Netherlands, they're going to do a couple things. One of them is going to give you a blue strap. Then any sort of arm injury, this is their therapy. In fact, this is literally the only thing they did for me. My arm is smashed. The bone is smashed into itself by 2 centimeters or so. It's turned to the side. That's why it doesn't work no more. And they were like, hey. I got an idea. Blue strap. And then they say, it comes good. They told me that for 5 months. Yeah, it comes good. It's not even a good sentence. We'll see how it comes after that. Anyway, thanks for listening. You guys are a great help to me. Appreciate it very much. So you ready for another comedian? Yeah, very good. You know the next comedian. Good everybody. Ready. You know what Typical member of Ahmed. He's the double rainbow in my life. Yeah, that's a cool thing, by the way, as an American. You know, it's one of the weird things that in the world that Americans, Muslims, and Jews can agree on a thing, which is circumcision. I don't know if it's path to world peace or not, but I mean, how much can it hurt, you know? You've already done your part. I've done my part. Let's try it. I'm just saying. No? Anybody? No? It's a thought, right? It's a thought. You know, again, I had never seen foreskin as an American. We don't even have them in our porno. You know? I went to a wellness center, Dollar, for a long time, and it's like the first time I was like, oh, interesting. Because let's face it, it's interesting. No? I found it interesting. I had never seen anything that's new is interesting, you know what I mean? But like some of these guys, it's like, to me, it's like they were standing too near a candle or something. Like their dick started to melt and shit. Wiggling away, you know? It's not a foreskin. It's a 5-skin. That's an uncomfortable laugh if there ever was one. There's different kinds of laughs, you know? One of my favorite laughs is a late comedian's laugh. I don't know if you know this or not, but when we come up here and we try to tell a joke, there's setups and there's jokes. If you laugh, that was a joke. If you don't, that was a setup. That was a half setup and half a joke. But when you really try and nothing happens, a few moments later you hear this laugh from way in the back. That's the other comedians going, ah! Swing and a miss. Good try. I see what you're trying to do there. Yeah. But so it's one of the great things about this thing. You get to meet different people. You get to travel around and like learn different places, spit on crowds. And that's how I got to meet the bunker. And there's all sorts of cool cafes, etc. But you meet people from around the world because we've dispersed, you know. And tonight we have a traveling comedian. And one of the nice things about being a traveling comedian, you can go, hey man, can I do this stuff? You're a traveling comedian. You go, okay. Because guys from Berlin, maybe I'll go to Berlin one day and I go, hey, remember me? They'll go, no. But it's still worth a shot. So you ready for a comedian who's not on the bill, but still here tonight? Yeah. Ooh, get it? Give me a quick round of applause, excitement, etc. for a traveling comedian with us. Give it up for Cassie. Compliance. Yeah, I like that sound bad. I don't know what they do, but I'm just assuming, geez. Compliant. You are, right? See, she's agreeable as hell. That's compliant. Woo! I like it. You don't want to have someone who's working in, like, hate. What do you do? None of your business. I lived in a country that was like that. I left it about 13 years ago. Woo! So you're all expats? None of you are, hardly any of you, even the Dutch aren't Dutch. Where are you all from? Yell out some countries real fast.
Poland.
Thank you. You're really good at that. I'm an American. I've never heard of any of them. I have no idea. I like this thing. If you have like a certain sort of OCD, this is a microphone for you. And the cool thing, whatever I'm having trouble with, is like, it's got this split, this really tight little gap. See, that's the thing. If you do comedy, you want to experiment with the mic because it's always a pain in the ass. It's like life. Woo! Anybody else ever break a bone? Just a couple people. Yeah. Who's done the upper arm? Who's done a shoulder? No shoulders. They told me when it happened. They said it sucked. And it does. Because you can't do shit with a shoulder. You can't lay on your back. It's nothing at all. So if I broke my hand before, this one wasn't as bad, although it was a pretty bad break. It was like my little friend. I carried around my calf and things like that. Yay! But the shoulder just like a bad boyfriend. So you're abusive and shit. Not all the time, mind you. Because that'd be too easy. Know what to avoid. Do it, try, take a shot. Put on your pants. You gotta go somewhere. Time sticking. Go on. Pick them up. Put the one leg on. Give it all the way up. Didn't hurt you. Yeah. Try the other one, motherfucker. And this was like one of the worst possible things I call the withdrawal. It's one of the reasons that keeps me from doing this, because at one point I'll do this, it's going to pop. And I want to be like, ah! And I want to say the Dutch word for frequently, which is fuck. So you reach for that second pant leg because you've got to, and start pulling it up. You go, bang! Ah! Yeah. Too bad for anybody in a relationship like that. Because I couldn't get rid of him, because I would have kicked his ass out in a heartbeat if I could. In fact, I'm going to try to have him chop him out of my life. Yeah, surgery. That's what you got to do in a bad relationship. Chop that motherfucker out. Yeah! None of you? None of you? God. Yo, dating Dutch people, there's a bunch of masturbators. You can't have an argument if you're masturbating. Let me rephrase that. You shouldn't have an argument if you're masturbating. If you're having an argument while you're masturbating, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you at that point. That's just interesting if you ask me. Just saying. Okay, I lost you at arguing with self-mastery. No, all right, so I argue with myself sometimes. It happens. Anyway. I'll talk about this later tonight with myself, and I'll be like, you were right, now you were wrong. You can't be what's so wrong, can you? Yeah. You ready for the last act of the first half? Woo! Yeah. I like that. This is a guy who watched from the beginning. He's been doing a lot of park shows with me. Give it up for a good friend of mine. Give it up, energy for him. Yeah! Give it up! Keep it going there, best room. Now we've all been bassoed together. Must be strange having a name that people have heard of before. No? So yeah, when you hear the name Socrates, people think of an intelligent, learned guy who, knows all these things. And they see me on stage, and it's just a name. But so did you enjoy the first half? Best time hanging out under a bridge so far? Yeah, I was enjoying it. I'm having a good time. So if you want to get another drink or something, because we're going to take our little break now. But like I said, this is sort of a crack house, it's supposed to be. And so there's no really staff here, etc. So if you can bring your bottles towards the bar over there, the empty place, you can maybe stack them up, your glasses, etc. We'd always appreciate it. They'd always appreciate it, because they're the ones going to be doing the work. That's the way the proletariat is. But we're going to take a 10-minute break, so grab a beer, grab a drink, grab a smoke, come back here, grab a laugh, we'll do some more Kazella stuff if you want to. If not, it's a free damn world, at least here. Yeah. That's why we're all here, right? Give it up! See you in a little while. Thanks so much! Hey, y'all doing good? Happy words for a second there, yeah. Woo! Have a great break out there. Anybody do any great drugs? Just me. Okay, woo! You all need your own motivation, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a Greek guy. Who's got a long-lived family? Any long-lived people out there? What's the oldest family ever anybody's got? Anybody? Yell them out? Nobody? Everyone's dead? Yeah. I guess I know why you need to laugh. Nobody's taking care of your cat. Yeah, my dad's 92. Most of my family make it into their 90s. His sister's 101. Yeah. Still basically mostly there. She's getting a bit old. 101. I got a cousin 107 years old. Seriously. She says 109. Because she says she was born in 1914, but the guy had really bad penmanship and it looked like a 1916. And when you're 107, there's no point arguing about it. And I like the fact that actually she still speaks English as well as French and Greek. Unfortunately, some days they told me that she just speaks French, which is cool. Nobody there speaks French. You got a bunch of Greeks and Filipinos and other varied those languages, but nobody speaks French, so it's a hard thing. And she gave me advice. And if you're curious of the advice from a 107-year-old, well, it's going to happen next. That's advice for 56-year-olds. But she said you should surround yourself with good people. People who are really good, not people who just pretend to be good. And I think that's really good advice, So again, the reason why I love a place like this. Because this is a room with really good people. Thanks for being great people, yeah! That's the difference in the U.S. At least one of you would have shot one of us. Which is ungezellig. But so we're going to start our second half. Are you ready for a second half? Yeah, you have so much of a cauldron of energy. I want to let that just boil over to itself. Yeah. So give me up some energy. One of my friends actually is like, it's weird, real fast, just now. When I moved here like 13 years ago, people every night I meet Americans, and I honestly didn't like it. Really didn't. In comedy, I have more American friends than I had in years living here. And it's something about the place, if you want to live here as an American, and something about comedians, I don't know, it goes well together. So it's really cool to me when I have people that remind me of my own country, you know what I mean, in ways that I kind of like, which is, as an American, it's kind of nice. That happens all the time, especially recently. You guys don't look at the news. Good, don't. Just be on that one. Anyway, give it up for a friend of mine, from my own country, my good friend Mickey!
Yeah, you want to break your leg too, huh?
It's safer over there. Yeah, I consider myself a gold star comedian. It's always nice to get a response. Woo! And anybody younger than 41? I've been smoking weed your entire life. That's right, I have an addiction that's older than you are. And look how well I turned out. Okay, look at it this way. We all took different paths in our lives, but you know what happened? Same place, same time. Yeah, it all led to here. That fucking hurt. Anyway, there you go again. You ready for another comedian? Yeah. There you go. This is a guy I've known for a little while. He puts on a bunch of shows as well, so give me up a lot of energy. Give it up for me, give me energy. Chris Saeed! Keep it going there for Saeed. Perfect timing, isn't it? So is this a religious crowd? Very religious out here? Yeah, that's an interesting silence. I like that. I like that. I wasn't really raised with religion at all for the most part, but I'm an American, so we have it on TV. But back then, there wasn't a lot of channels to pick from, so I actually did watch a couple of those Sunday morning things because it was funny, the guy talking in tongues and all that weird stuff. Same guy who's still around today, so I didn't really do religion, but I got the gist of it, you know what I mean? They say that God knows everything because God made everything, because God has a plan for everything. So why would you pray? Right? God knows my arm is broken. Some unknown reason, God made my arm break. Because God's got this fantastic fucking plan involving me suffering 5 months. The doctors say, hey, last pindicas. It goes good. If you don't know, helaas pindakaas is a fantastic Dutch expression which means, oh well, peanut butter. This is not a useful expression. It's a worse medical diagnosis, but it's a shitty expression. In fact, I asked them what the whole deal with this is, they said, well, it's my favorite Dutch word, actually. Because it really sums this thing up in the moment. Anyway, so this is what's great about living here. You can do what you can to make your life a little bit better, which the other solution is paracetamol. Does not work as well as morphine. So you ready for another comedian? Give it up for the next comedian tonight. Give it up for the next comedian. Her name is Leah! Keep it going there for Leah! Yeah, it's good to have people that have a life worse than you, so when you feel yourself complaining, you can tell yourself to shut up. I don't, I keep complaining, woo, it's life, yay. So your life itself is a bizarre arc. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, it starts off like, easy, and then it builds to crescendo. And then it kind of drops off there in the middle end part. I don't know what happens between 56 and 107, but it's kind of a crazy thought, isn't it? Another 50 years after this, I'm not into it. Anybody want to live to 107? Yeah. It doesn't look fun either, I gotta tell you that. This is fun. If this would be 107, this would be great, yeah. So we're going to keep moving to our last performer of the night. It's like being alive, right? That's what it feels like to cross the 50-year mark. And 6 years after they mark it, you're like, ah! So you bring people to make you laugh. And that's what I did tonight, right? Yeah. So give me some energy and love together for our last performer of the night. A good friend of mine, Greg Scott Shapiro! Let's go to Greg! Thank you, appreciate that. We need to start second trumpet. Yeah, there you go. That was a lot of fun, huh? I got a bicycle story too, but so this was, like I said, this is a free show because it's part of the crack house thing. Although I do have these little fine-fangled QR codes. If you can, you have so much money because I got a nickel and my nickel is $1, and the dollar's like $1 billion debt. So if you got a nickel or $1, I'll take them up here. One here. We're going to put it there. It's wet now. It'll be here on the table. And also next week, talking about climate and the slow and endless death that we're all facing, especially the young people. There's advantages to being old. Woo! But next week on Thursday, well, starting tomorrow, is the beginning of Amsterdam's climate week. And so in about 7 days, we will have fixed climate problems. Yay, Amsterdam! Or at least we'll bring some awareness by having some fun, which is also gezellig. But on Thursday, we're doing another show at the Sanity, which is near Socrates, and I'm doing another show with a different comedian, although I think Ronnie's going to be there. And so if you want to come to a show next Thursday in the Sanity, please do. It's on Facebook. You can find it, etc. And if you have extra money that you just don't need, I do have a home, so I'll pick the money. And thanks so much. If you want extra beers back there, bring your bottles, etc. back here if you can. Give it up for Luke. Give it up for everybody that helped us out. Give it up for yourself. Have a good show. You guys are great. Thanks so much. See you next time.